What's up, guys, and welcome back to E.F.I Friday on the beautiful classic Benz Coupe. Today what I'm going to be doing is showing you guys all the sensors installed on the car and exactly what we're using and where we're putting them to make it as easy and convenient as possible for you guys. And if you guys have any questions at all in the video, please make sure you post them down below. I'm more than happy to go ahead and answer all and any questions. Like always. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's start from the back and then work our way forward so it's as easy as possible for you guys. So the very first sensor we have in the back is going to be this guy right here. We do use the stock M103 coolant temp sensor, or CLT, whatever you know it by. Obviously, next we're going to be having our Simus and Deca fuel injectors. We do have our M104 fuel rail. We're going to be having our ground right here. Next, we have our throttle body, or TPS. This is from a BMW M as in Mary 50 engine. We're using a GM IAT sensor that goes inside of the intake piping. Obviously, it's off right now, so I can show you guys everything. We're also using a GM 3-bar map sensor. The reason we're using a 3-bar map sensor is obviously because we have boost. We have just a standard boost controller, and then we're going to be having our wasted spark, and our wasted spark is connected to our ignition control module, which is, where is it? Right down here, right here. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see, but it is down there. And then last but not least, what we have is right underneath the car, right in the front, we have our trigger wheel right here. We have our trigger wheel sensor. Hope you guys can see this okay. I apologize. Trying to fit the camera in there. It is a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. But we're using a VR style sensor. You can use a VR or a Hall style sensor. It really just depends on the setup that you want to use. Now, let me go ahead and get out the laptop and show you guys, I guess, all the settings that I have to go ahead and get this thing running. Alright guys, so when you open up Tuner Studio, this right here is the screen that's going to be popping up. Obviously, it says not connected right now because we don't have our key in the second position. You're going to need to put the key in the second position to do this. What we're going to do first is calibrate all of our sensors. The very first one that pops up is calibrate your TPS. So when you click this little guy right here, it's going to open a pop-up and it's going to say calibrate TPS. You're not going to touch the throttle body and you're going to click current. Then you're going to hold the throttle body open and then you're going to click current again and then make sure you click accept, okay? Next, what you're going to want to go ahead and do is calibrate your map sensor. Obviously, it has preloaded sensors and everything on there. Obviously, we're using the GM 3-bar map sensor, so very convenient. You just click it and then it's on. There is a bunch of different ones, as you can see. If you're not using the GM one, make sure you guys click burn after every time you do something. The next sensor you're going to be doing is obviously your IAT and your coolant temp sensor. You'll just unlock the sensors and do the exact same thing like you did with the map sensor. They're all kind of preloaded, so it makes it very convenient. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is show you guys all of my settings that I have to get the car started, okay? Go ahead and just click pause throughout the video. I'm not going to keep these up for too long. I don't want to bore you guys with all that stuff. But yeah, if you guys do want to use these exact same settings because you have the same setup that I have, by all means, go ahead and use them. Again, though, I do want to make this very clear. All of these settings and everything I have is going to just be a starting point for your tune. It's not going to be, okay, I'm going to use all these settings, get in the car, and drive away. That's not how it works. You guys are going to need to obviously mess with a few things yourself because you probably have different fuel injector size. You probably have different dead times. Everything might be a little bit different, so you are going to need to do a little bit of tweaks. I highly recommend just going to a tuning shop and just have them tune the car for you. Get that out of the way. Don't try to do it yourself unless you actually know what you're doing. Me personally, I've only messed with this stuff a little bit. I'm an engine builder and I can obviously install everything and make whatever I need. But when it comes to this stuff, especially with boost, I'm not the best at it. If it was NA, it'd be a different story, but this specific car is going to be going back to Cali and getting tuned at a professional shop as it should be. But for the most part, these are all the settings you're going to use to just go ahead and get the car started, okay? I cannot stress that enough. Use these basically at your own risk is what I'm saying. And again, obviously, if you guys want to see all these, please just go back in the video. You guys can click pause so that way you can figure out all the parameters and everything I used. I really hope that you guys can see the screen properly. I apologize. I don't know how to do the screen sharing thing yet. So yeah, this is unfortunately the best I could do. All right, guys. So as you could tell, the motor looks a little bit more complete with the intake piping on. And before everybody says anything, I know I don't have my clamps on yet. They will be getting put on in a minute. I just wanted to take off a few things and show you guys how I have a few things set up. So as for the wasted spark, the way that we have it mounted is obviously on the front of the engine, hidden underneath the original cover just to make it look a little bit more OEM and sleek. The way we did it is we built this bracket, and you could see one bolt right there that's holding it down, and then our other bolt that's holding it down is that one right there. And it is actually very sturdy. Like, it has a little bit of wobble to it, but I mean, you could still fit your hand underneath the belt and the, I guess, bracket itself. So it's very far away from the belt, very safe, everything is good. As for the ignition control module and the map sensor, they do sit right there. You can actually see one of the bolts ever so slightly holding it on that side and on that side. The map sensor is just on the other side of that bracket, and that is just the OEM bracket that was on the motor and on the intake manifold originally. It just goes from the block directly to the bottom of the intake manifold just for kind of extra support. But guys, now that I have showed you exactly what sensors we use, where I put all the sensors, how I have everything set up inside of Tuner Studio to get the car started. Again, guys, I can't stress this enough, that all those settings and everything are just going to be for a start. Definitely go take the car to get professionally tuned. Everything else you can definitely do yourself. Or if you have the tuning knowledge to do that, by all means do it. I know I personally do not, at least for the boosted cars. When it comes to NA, I could definitely tune a little bit better, I would say, but when it comes to boost, I'm definitely not the guy. So definitely go get your car tuned from a professional. Do not cheap out on that part, especially if you want the car to run right and have all of the power it can actually put out. This specific build itself, I'm only trying to look for about 6 to 8 pounds of boost. Nothing more than that for this specific car, because honestly, I don't know how much the chassis can hold on this. I mean, we've done this same setup with W124s as well as like the W201. And I mean, we're pushing 600, 700, 800 horsepower out of those cars with no problem. This is a much older car. It has a little bit different design. I don't really want to push it that hard. Besides, the owner doesn't want to have anything crazy like that. It's not a race car. He just wants it to be a fun, cool, whip it around on the weekend kind of thing. So that right there's all it is. But guys, I think this series is going to go ahead and come to an end. We're going to go ahead and, I guess, call it a day for the E.F.I stuff. I'll do a running video at the end. If anybody has any questions about the actual car itself, please go ahead and follow and message Mr. Classic Benz Coupe in Instagram. He will be more than happy to answer any questions about the air ride setup, the wheels, the actual car itself. He could probably give you a little bit more specs on the actual motor itself. Again, we didn't do the initial motor swap in this car. We just definitely finished it, buttoned it up, and made it look as beautiful as it does now. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for I guess following this process. I really hope that it helped you guys out. I know I had a lot of fun making the videos and answering a whole bunch of questions. Again, if you guys do have any other questions or comments or anything, please go ahead and drop them down below. I try to be really quick on my responses, or if I don't message there, you can always message me on my personal Instagram right here. But yeah, guys, E.F.I Friday has officially ended. I think this is the very last one for at least this car. So toodaloo, turtle. We'll most definitely be seeing this thing on the road. If you guys ever see it, make sure you give Mr. Al, Mr. Classic Benz Coupe, a thumbs up and say what's up to him. He is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And we're going to be moving on to other things, such as my personal Evo 1 190E, as well as this beast right here. I have been having a bunch of people ask me if I still have this thing and what's going on with it. So obviously, before you can work on your own cars, you obviously have to work on others and make a little bit of money. So now that we have the Turtle done, we will be focusing a lot of our channel on this thing right here. This is a 300 TD S124. It has an OM603 turbo diesel motor, which is freaking awesome. This thing rolls coal better than a 12 valve Cummins or a 24 valve. Seriously, it rolls coal like crazy. We are going to be mounting the 500D body kit for it. We have the front bumper, obviously front fenders, the side skirts, the rear quarters, and the back bumper. This thing has just been collecting a lot of dust and a lot of parts. So now that we have a few other cars done, this is going to be the next main focus. But thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciate it. Again, we'll see you guys in the next one. All right, go ahead and go.